What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Nullus. As always, the map is competitive, mega random. We are in the losers portion of this tournament. Lose this game. Not this game. Lose this series. And you go home. Win this series. And you go to the next round. Obviously. That's how it works. That's how it goes. So both these players have been playing having a very good tournament thus far. Definitely proven that they've got a very varied roster and they can pilot all the gods at a relatively high level. Obviously, some gods easier than other gods. Some gods have some challenging matchups, but luckily in this tournament, we don't get to see those challenging matchups all too much. We get to see some pretty nice matchups for the most part, as we do see the water has started to get revealed here in this game. We've got Nullus here. He's found this water spot over here. He scouts out the top. Not going to be surprised about that one. Kimo scouts out that side as well. Not going to be surprised about that one either. So unlike some of the earlier stages in this tournament where players not quite sure exactly what they're rolling into, this is a spawn that can happen in every single one of the competitive mega random maps that spawns without a gigantic lake in the middle. Is the general or in the outside lake. Basically, if there's a funky spawn in the middle of the map, like the little kind of Pokeball type thing we're seeing here, or any other, or the like 4 ponds type, basically there's a chance that there's going to be a corner part of resources in that spot there, right? And if the corner spot is there, then that can either be water, or it can be forest, or it could be nothing. I'm not sure, but water or forest at the very least, and there can be water over here. And we do see that Kimo spotting out this side as well, and both players here should be noticing that this is a very high fish map, and they can make a decision as to how aggressive they want to play this one, or how boomy they want to play this one. Now, obviously, Thor can probably do a relatively fast advance time on this map off of like 2 or 3 docks. Getting a second Ulfsuck out pretty early here for Nullus is an interesting choice. He's also utilizing the Ox cart over here nicely to share the resources over here. Has about, 6 villages on food, on wood, 2 dwarfs as well, so 8 total there. For those of you who don't know, Thor's unique bonus boosts the dwarves' gather rate by quite a bit. In fact, it boosts them so much that the dwarves and the gatherers gather at exactly the same rate. So there's not, the only loss in resources of having dwarves on wood at this point is about 2 seconds worth of gather time from the extra 2 seconds it takes for the villagers to come out. Obviously, if you build a dwarf, that sets everything else back 2 seconds as well. So over time, it does end up being a decent amount of resources, but obviously you can also get those resources back by saving yourself the necessity to gather food. Thank you for the prime there, Heisenholf. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for the support. So, dwarves completely fine until you start getting upgrades. Once you get getting hand axe, bow sword, those sort of upgrades, the dwarves start becoming a little bit less efficient on the wood. But before then, it's pretty good. As fishing ship's going to come out on this side, you can also send the Ulfsuck or a villager down to the bottom side of the map and start getting the fishing ships out over there. We are seeing that Nullus is fishing up this side of this pond quite a bit here, which is a little bit surprising in all honesty. I think that with only 2, this looks like it's a weird fishing spot. So only 2 fishing spots on each of these locations kind of means it's probably better to just go, say, 2 fishing ships here. The rest come out of this location here. Maybe send 1 Ulfsuck down to the bottom side to drop a dock there and get a temple up on this side just to ensure you protect this one. Start fishing down the bottom would be a great idea as well. We do see Kimo with the double docks on this location here to put some pressure up here, as it looks like he's trying to advance to the next age quite fast. But Nullus wins out in this early game. He's gone Freya super quickly. He's got more fishing ships than Kimo. He's got more economy than Kimo. By all metrics here, Nullus is in front. We are seeing the second dock coming up. We're going to be seeing a wall coming down. This is some really nice opening game plan here for Nullus. One thing that he's going to be having to be super careful of, though, is 1, Kimo's going Ares. 2. That means the Cyclops is going to be coming, and some sort of water aggression and land aggression is probably going to be getting hit onto this location. Now, Kimo, while this is all going on, is putting a dock down on the left side of the water as well, which means he's got an option to kind of fake aggression onto this dock here and make Nullus kind of overcommit, or he's going to be able to just say no aggression there, just spam fishing ships out and go full aggression over here and slowly start to put fishing ships down onto this left side of the map. There's no rush to do that if he can push off of all of these fishing spots here, though. It's very, very defensive here for Nullus, as Kimo's also got a fishing spot out over on this location as well, as more docks are going to be coming up here for Nullus. Anyways, we'll see how things are going to go as the Cyclops and the heroes are starting to come out. No Hippolyta just yet for Kimo, but it looks like he wants to get that one out as fast as possible there. No, he chooses not to get that. He's got the wood, but chooses not to do so, as the Cyclops going to come through into the middle of the map here. There are several different places here, as we do see a forest fire coming in. The Valkyrie going to attempt to take a villager down as Theseus comes over, going to look to bash that Valkyrie away. Can Nullus get onto this villager? It looks like the answer is no. Valkyrie going to take a lot of damage here before it retreats away, and Kimo gets 2 militia out of that forest fire. Nullus is going to be asking himself the question, was using forest fire on that location against Poseidon worth it? A lot of walking time there for Kimo in the villagers there, plus 1 very low HP villager that he might be able to come and snipe a little bit later, and I'm sure Nullus is going to be searching for that one. There's actually 2 villagers here that are really, really nice and low HP. As Nullus searches in onto this location, he will be able to see this, but he's got to continue microing this Valkyrie around this location to pick off that villager. As we do see a longboat out over here. No, we do see some triremes coming out. Some triremes coming out over here. The longboat's on this position. The hearse are getting pushed away from this Cyclops. Can get a little bit of damage done, but I think the Cyclops might win this fight. Worthwhile getting the damage down, though, because there's no way to heal for Poseidon in these sorts of positions. But look at the damage. You're still getting a huge amount of damage done anyways, even if the hearse does end up falling there. So lots of damage there. Retreating just as it would have died, but Pestilence coming down onto this position as the longboat's retreating back. For ships just very calmly back into the dock. Not the biggest of deals here for Nullus. In fact, I think the one mistake here that Nullus has made in terms of his opening strategy is maybe one too many docks in this center position and no docks down the bottom would have been a nice way to go, as we do see Kimo trying to micro a little bit here as the trireme's going to be sent back. No more boats getting produced over here, and maybe Nullus has got to think about the next position for him to start going here. He's getting up a Dwarven Armory. I like that play, and we'll see where to next. Town Center coming down as well here for Nullus. Thank you for the 100 bits. I still appreciate the support there, my friend. It means a lot. As the Kimo boat's going to be retreating back, and Nullus just calmly pops back out here. He's not built a single longboat here. 14 fishing ships to 15 fishing ships, basically equal in terms of the economy, but Nullus is slightly in front in terms of getting things done here in this game. He's got the town center coming up. Kimo spent some resources on that. Theseus hasn't really got all too much value out of it. The Cyclops here hasn't really done all too much either, sitting back on this position. Kimo in his main base at the moment, just trying to sort things out. He's got himself hand axe, pickaxe, as we also see over here for Nullus. He's got himself hand axe, pickaxe as well. One thing that you can do if you're really wanting to get a little bit more food income going in the middle of these sort of water fights or water situations is just take some villagers off of the wood here and just grab them over onto the deers, and you can completely fine. As we do see the trireme scouting out here just to see exactly what's going on. And he does notice that nothing's up there. There's not really that much fish here. A couple of fish in the center of the ponds, but they're not really that worth going for. A little bit far, not the most efficient. I mean, it's kind of worth it. Anything is worth it in a way to give you an advantage where that's concerned. As the fishing ship's getting pushed back, definitely can garrison them in, but Nullus here, a little bit distracted. He does get into the dock as Kimo going to get shot down and lose a trireme or two here. Just Nullus just calmly saying, I don't care about this. And he's right. He doesn't need to. He's got 2 town centers now. He's got this hunt on this position. He can get himself hunting dogs. He doesn't need to get fish. Unlike, as we do see the units now pushing through over here as the trireme's getting pulled back. There's still a couple of docks here. Lots of longboats to come out on this position. Nullus, he kind of doesn't need to hold this one, but maybe he needs to hold at least one of these positions as the units still pushing through. Theseus, Cyclops, and 2 Militia are a lot to deal with as the army of Nullus is going to push over onto this position. Unfortunately for Nullus, he's not getting himself enough food here to get to that heroic age like I would have liked to see, whereas Kimo, he's going to be able to advance there very, very soon. But he does have to be kind of careful whether or not he goes through Dionysus or not, seeing as the first dock is on that left side of the map. As we do see a dock coming up on this position here for Nullus. Fishing ship's going to be retreating back. There's still a handful of longboats on this position, but Kimo with 9 trireme out. Little bit of an advantage there for him. Aphrodite on the way as well for Kimo. Nullus got to be careful not to get gold starved here in this game. Pig sticker husbandry, hunting dogs coming through for Nullus as well as the dock comes down onto this position. We do see Kimo starting to wander forward here as well as the Herso going to be retreating back. He probably could take this fight in all honesty, but we do see a trireme coming out, and in all honesty here, Nullus is making Kimo spend a lot of resources, and guess what? Kimo does not have himself a safe second gold mine here. There's always going to be this 10-minute, 30 to 11-minute timing that's available. The problem here for Nullus is he's not playing into it in the slightest here. He's gotten 2 town centers. He's getting some units out, but he's going for town centers. He's playing the boomy approach, which means Kimo, he's going to have all of the economic advantage from spending all of this resource on the wood on these units. We do see that Nullus pops out here. He does have a whole bunch of longboats. So at the very least here, Nullus is going to have 1 pond to himself, but Kimo is going to have 3. Significant advantage in the end, but not the worst case for Nullus. He's got 2 town centers. He should be okay here to continue in terms of economy. He should have more villager income, more income from the gatherers that he's building. He's also got pig sticker as well, plus a decent amount of hunt. Unlike, as we said, unlike Mediterranean and some other water maps out there, losing the water on these sorts of competitive mega random maps, they don't matter. It doesn't matter as much as losing the water on Mediterranean, especially if you have a pond to yourself over here. While this is only 8 fishing ships, that's still something. That's still not nothing. And fishing ship difference 24 to 8. It's only a little bit of difference there, and he can kind of find that advantage. But having this town center up, and we'll see if Nullus is going to be able to make this one work. He is slightly behind in terms of tech at the moment. And it looks like Kimo's on 2 town centers. And Kimo's done something very, very smart here. Military academies coming up against Norse as Poseidon is something that I can't stress too much. I can't stress it more than enough. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you need to build military academies in this matchup to get yourself out of Paspists because of the Huskal threat and because of many other things. As we do see the Cyclops coming through, no units on this position to defend here for Nullus. Is kind of getting caught out in a way as the Cyclops turns around. Good micro from Nullus to keep his raiding cavalry alive as the Cyclops running in here, going to be losing a little bit of HP on that militia as the Cyclops takes a little bit of damage as well. Kimo going to be retreating back. We see the Herso coming in onto this position. Definitely can use those to catch that Cyclops out. It's being sped walk away here, but unfortunately, it looks like Kimo here, or not, unfortunately for Nullus, looks like Kimo here is going to be getting out without taking too much heat there, as it does look like Kimo is coming back onto this water yet again. This is kind of good for Nullus in a way. He does not need this water in the slightest now. He's got 3 town centers. He's booming away. He's got plenty of hunt here. He will have to farm at some point, but not the biggest of deals. Getting a side build in, going to be able to raid these villages over here. I love that play. Plus, there's going to be access to frost. That's a big amount of damage, and we see Nullus controlling this town center. There are no town centers in range of water except for this town center, it seems. This one, and that's a maybe coming on that shore there, which obviously Kimo's got full control of, as Kimo's got 26 fishing ships. There's a lot of fishing ships at the moment, as we do see some hoplites coming through, some military buildings getting thrown down by Kimo here as well, as it looks like Nullus might have to be rethinking his plan here. These 3 raiding cavalry might not be enough over on this position either, as Nullus is sitting a little bit too far back here. He's got to be getting some villager damage here. He's had such a big initiative here in terms of the land transition at this point, as we do see the raiding cavalry coming around, going to attempt to take down some of these villages. They're all full HP though. Kimo not paying attention at the moment, so he will be losing a little bit of HP here in this position. Another villager going to be going down over here, so nice raid, but now we see see Kimo turning around, and villagers shanking down raiding cavalry, especially unupgraded raiding cavalry, is a difficult thing to deal with. But more raiding cavalry are going to be moving in onto this position to hurt even more here, as tier has been clicked up for Nullus. Nullus has got to make a decision here. A dock on this spot here to get those fishing ships back to work would be a good decision here for Nullus. But what ends up happening here, he's going to get himself out some Yeoman Elvers to secure this water yet again, plus the damage is going to come through. He does need to be putting pressure onto this town center. Just the one medium hoplite with some good micro here can really cause some problems for Kimo, but unfortunately the raiding cavalry not really doing a whole lot as the villagers do pull away. Cyclops still alive from the early stages in this game, and another villager there does go down. Hephaestus on the way now for Kimo, so he's in a good position where that's concerned. As the units coming in over here for Nullus, we see the temple, we see the hill fort, 94 favor in the bank there, as we do see that frost coming in just to keep that town center from finishing up here. He's got to be careful because Kimo could just send a whole bunch of units over here to finish that one off. Only 2,641 HP there, but hill fort going to be up, temple's going to be up. 95 favor means a lot of Fenris wolves, and a little known fact about Norse versus Greek here is that Greek really doesn't have a good answer to the Fenris Wolves, as Nullus takes too long here. He doesn't get in onto the town center. There's more units coming around onto this position here as well. See the longhouses are up. Huskar is starting to come out. More units popping out here. We do see the medium infantry is in. There's the Mythic Age for Nullus as he drops that Fimble Winter. Does get a spawn on this position. Doesn't hit this gold mine though, unfortunately there for Nullus in the main base though. All the villagers getting sent back. We will see those Fimble, what are they called? Fimble Winter Wolves maybe going to move over here, but unfortunately it looks like they're not making that move as the Frost Giant comes around. Going to be getting that Frost onto the Cyclops there to take that one down, but Hippolyta and Theseus is in as Nullus getting pushed back now. Winter Harvest, Plow, Fortified Town Centers, everything's coming through for Nullus, but he's not able to quite make the push through onto this position just yet. Frost Giant popping out there. Therm Frost Giant coming through for Nullus as he's pushing him as the villagers retreat away. Hoplite going to be going down there as well. Golden Apples, Forge of Olympus coming through as well for Kimo as he's trying to get everything started here. At this moment, Kimo is hurting for both resources and population. This is a good position for Nullus to be in, though it looks like he might have lost some houses somewhere along the line as the house is coming up over onto this position here to get those sorted out. Are we seeing Fenris Wolves? No Fenris Wolves at this position. At this moment here for Nullus, he's gone for the Frost Giants instead, which, I mean, I can understand the idea here, but the idea of making Fenris Wolves to go raiding and taking down the village is so appealing to me. I'm surprised to see Nullus not go for that. You can hit this gold mine. There's no gold remaining over that side of the map. Controlling this gold mine, walling this off would be absolutely huge here for Nullus as well if you could manage to do that and prevent Kimo from getting any gold mines anymore. That's always a win condition to have in the back of your mind while you're playing. As the Throw and Axeman going to be able to take down the Theseus, going to be able to take down that Hippolyta relatively quickly if they do focus fire. But Polyphemus is now out, going to get a big amount of damage done onto those Frost Giants. And while the Frost Giants, they are decent siege weapons, if the counter is there, they do fall very, very quickly. You've got to be careful about how much pressure you're going to be putting on to these sorts of positions here, as all the upgrades starting to come through for Kimo as well. Husbandry, coinage, medium archers, copper weapons, copper mail, everything he needs here to get sort of stabilized and live here in this position is going well for him. Nullus, on the other side, he hasn't started a trade route. He's got himself 88 villages though. He's in a good position economically. He's going to be falling behind in terms of armory upgrades, even though he is Thor and has the cheaper upgrades. Hephaestus is much, much cheaper, though Nullus could start putting some effort into getting that. It could be a better option to go straight into Ballista, trying to deal with those Heliopoli is going to be something that's might seem difficult, but in all honesty, Heliopoli, that's not the unit you're so worried about, especially if you're making Frost Giants. But when you're playing Norse, you get access to this Throw and Axeman, 5.4 damage per second from range is pretty good against Siege. As we now see Nullus rerouting onto this position, realizing the mistake that he's made here. Not only that, he's given away this gold mine over here to Kimo as the army's starting to push through. It means that if Nullus runs out of gold here in this game, which he very well might do, he's only got 2 gold mines in both, and his villages are on both of those, he's going to run out of gold. His third gold mine is going to be getting snapped up over there. But he's got a gold mine here as well. But Kimo's going to be able to snap up that one gold mine there and take even more of Nullus away in this game. It's the Huskar coming through. Do they have bravery? No bravery just yet, but they're going to be able to pick off a couple of villages over there. Kimo's economy hurting a little bit, but he is able to get himself up to full population at the moment, still getting himself the upgrades. So not hurting enough to really slow him down all too much here in this game, as the Frost Giants getting the damage done. We've got the Thor Axeman coming over here as the dock going to be getting popped up onto this location. Meanwhile, we do see some Drakkar coming through. This is really, really smart if you can get in and control this position here, which is very, very possible with the Yormanelva, though. That being said, Poseidon does have a single hero unit called the Argo to kind of defend there. Unlike every other civilization, he's got a hero unit, but he could make himself some ballista ships to try and take out this town and to give himself an advantage there as the side build starting to come down. This is where Greek finds huge advantages against Norse, is when the Norse player has not fully defended themselves and the side builds come through. It's a lot more population to defend a side build than it is to set up a side build. Obviously, Nullus could also be doing the same, and he is doing the same by throwing a hill fort up in the middle of the map, as we do see a lone Polyphemus is going to be attempting to take out a Townsend. But with the heavy Ulfsark here, funnily enough, one heavy Ulfsark actually does quite a bit of damage with the help of a fortified Townsend. No Masons just yet, but a Colossus going to be coming through here as well. Meanwhile, over on this position, we do see the Yormadelva and the Drakkar kind of sitting idly by as Nullus not able to make it work here with the multitasking and hitting everything all at once. It can be very, very challenging to make that all happen, as the Polyphemus does end up getting taken down, but now there's a Colossus here. Colossus, again, it's kind of going to die roughly the same amount of time as the Polyphemus does, but does a little bit more damage there, as we're now starting to see some infantry units coming through with the Heliopolis here. The easiest way to defend these raids is going to be your Frost Giants. Frost Giants are really, really good at defending the big Colossus and the big Heliopolis, but Polyphemus there is going to be another big issue to deal with, as Nullus' army over here getting pretty well massacred with those heavy Hypaspes. There's only a handful of units for Norse that can really do well against those Hypaspes, and you kind of have to set up for it. You got Jarls, you got raiding cavalry, you've got Huntress, Axe Thrower, and Axeman, which Nullus doesn't yet have. You've also got Fenris Wolves and Ballista. Ballista being the big one. If you can get those Ballista out, those Hypaspes will die very, very quickly. They've got very low pierce armor and very low HP to boot, plus the splash damage. You're going to take them out very, very quickly, but you need to be set up for it, as this gold mine also getting eaten here by Kimo. He's taken that away from Nullus to push him out of this game. Watchtower is coming through for Nullus as well. Bowsaw at this point, but Enyo's Ball of Horror coming in for Kimo to boost his archers as well. Haven't yet seen all too many archers being built by Kimo in this game, but we do see a cheeky little raids coming in onto the donkey caravans here. One very low HP donkey caravan getting away with it there, as the Watchtower does come down onto this position. Hitting that trade route is going to be a big deal, but look at all the population that that Nullus is investing into the water at the moment. He's got to think about maybe making those oxy ballista ships, whatever they're called, Drakkar ships. That's a Drakkar. What's it called? Dragon ships, Oxy Dragon ship. Start hitting the fortified town center there as well, as Hypaspes getting cleaned up over here. Donkey caravans getting cleaned up as well, as the heavy Hypaspes coming in onto this position, and the Thrown Axeman getting cleaned up here. You can't just keep going Thrown Axeman here. You might think that it works, but I mean, in a way it does. If you can mass enough Thrown Axeman, you can beat the mass Hypaspes army, but you have to have that mass there ready to fight. Otherwise, the Hypaspes are actually going to come in and clean up. They've got more HP, they've got more damage. In every single way, they're winning in the straight up 1 versus 1 fight, but if you have enough Thrown Axeman, you can win there. But better would be to just make some raiding cavalry here to cause problems. But obviously here, Nullus doesn't want to do that because he wants to be getting the buildings down and defending himself. Unfortunately here, the Frost Giant getting caught out, as the Atlantic going to be able to take that one down before any sort of special attack comes in onto that Colossus. Though it does look like 34 HP might be able to get in there and slow this one down for just a little bit here, as he does sneak around this position, trying to get through. A little bit of path blocking coming in, as the Frost Giant does get that frost off. 20 seconds of reprieve onto this town center, but Kimo, he's pushing in and he's not taking his foot off the gas, as the damage still coming through onto this position. It looks like Kimo, has he stopped his trade? It looks like all the traders are actually dead here. He's got one doggy caravan left. So Nullus has dealt with that nicely, but it does look like the town center is going to end here as Nullus does decide to tap out here in this game. A well-executed game here from Kimo. Nullus not quite able to spread himself into all the different portions of the map so that he can kind of sack an area, take an area type play. I'm finding these sorts of maps with the side water where people aren't really sure that exists. I'm finding more and more as I'm watching these games that, you know, if this map was a standard map in the pool, what we might start seeing is some kind of 430 or even 402 advance times from players on these maps, with the idea of rushing someone off on one of those water spots. So you go up 402, right? This is the plan. I'm not sure if it's good or not, but for players getting onto this map and maybe wanting to try it out when they do spawn into this sort of a spawn. But idea being, you can drop a dock over, you can get 4 fishing ships. It's going to be in the middle every single time. You want to put the dock in the middle every single time on competitive mega random. Then you get one dock up, you get 4 fishing ships, you go for a 402 advance time, you throw a dock down on this side, you put the pressure onto this side while also then putting a dock down onto the left side as well. And then you get your fishing ships out later, winning one side of the water, putting pressure onto the other side of the water, and finding yourself surviving any sort of like early pressure. Because the kind of meta, so to speak, that Age of Mythology players kind of go for on water maps seems to be, if there's 20 fish on the map for each player, I'm going to go up to 20 fish and then I'm going to advance. If there's 12 fish on the map, I'm going to go up to 12 fish and then I'm going to advance. If there's 9 fish on the map, I'm going to go up to 9 fish and then I'm going to advance. I don't think that it is like, I don't think it's like 100% important to get all the fish out. I don't think it's 100% important to like go for those strategies. It's more like an Age of Empires 4 type idea where if you control the dock and you kill the dock off, you can find a quick win here. If we do take a look at the advance time, for example, from either player actually in this game, we saw about a 5-minute here from Nullus and a 5:15 type advance from Kimo. Imagine a 402. That's plenty of time to take someone off of one of these sides of the water and have a really, really big advantage going for yourself. Unfortunately, we saw a kind of stock standard opener for both players, and Nullus almost made it work. I really, really like this wall here on this position from Nullus, but in the end, that Ares proved just that little bit too strong for Nullus, and also didn't really get the biggest of value out of his Frost or out of his Fimbul Winter in this game, so he couldn't get that big kickstart going into the Heroic Age. There was also potentially an opportunity here for a big gold starve if maybe Nullus had just gone full send in the Classical Age off of 2 town centers or something like that. Would have been another decent option to try. But as always, Kimo, great defense, turning defense into offense. Fantastic start to the series. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.